coming. All right, so we are active. It is November 15th, 2023, 7:27 a.m. It is the professional trader here, back again with my brother Kailash. Mr. Kailash, how you doing,
Yeah,
sir?
doing good. Yeah.
Yes, sir, yes, sir. So we got some news coming out in about 3 minutes. Core PPI. Do you know the difference between CPI and PPI?
Yeah, the biggest thing I know is like it's consumer prices and this is like producer prices.
Ah,
And
okay,
I
okay, okay,
I think the more important is the CPI, so that's good.
okay,
Hopefully this
okay.
doesn't ruin everything, but like yeah.
Yeah, yeah, right. I would hate to see like things just completely turn the other way. Do you have like a is there like a census on the numbers you've been hearing anything you've been hearing lower than expected, higher than expected, anything you've been
Honestly, yeah,
hearing?
this one I don't pay too much attention to,
Okay.
but I think it's the same deal. Like I for me it's always just like it has to go flat or down. And I think the interest rates have had an effect. It's been 2 years of interest rates increasing, so I'm always assuming it has to go down
Yeah,
eventually.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So we literally got less than not less than a minute, but literally just
Okay,
about a
coming up.
minute. Yeah, yeah, before those happens. Are you still in your trades?
Yep, cut it down to like a tiny little piece, the zero, like
Okay.
5 cent lot, I think as you'd say.
Okay,
But
that's
I'm noticing
that's
too, like sometimes like as the euro and the GBP go down, the Canadian dollar makes a new high, Swiss franc new high, and Australian dollar
yeah,
new
yeah.
high.
And
It's looks really good.
it seems like the dollar of literally affects like everything across the boards. But yeah, before I'm not sure how much time we got, but it seems like before those numbers come out, that like the continuation of the downtrend, at least on the 1 hour, is looking kind of solid,
Yeah,
pretty
big bear
solid.
flag. Looks like a bear flag, and
Yeah,
it's up to the dollar buyers to like everything. Like they have to prove it. Like all
yeah,
the
yeah,
onus, yeah, all the what's it called? The effort is on them pretty much.
yeah. So
So we'll see.
we got about 10 more seconds, man. So should be exciting. Everything is pretty much risk free for me on my trade, so it's not really
Nice.
stressful, man. It's a good feeling for sure. I'm like right at 5%, bro. Almost at 5%.
Ooh, same here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
almost there. So the DXY is slightly pushing down. Not as crazy as yesterday, right? For sure.
Yeah.
It was definitely not as crazy yesterday.
The low
I'm
of
seeing
overnight, the low is 103. So seeing if it makes any
oh
difference.
yeah, yeah, right. If it makes that new low right there, yeah. It's kind of wicking in that area. I'm seeing core PPI was
Mm.
0.0%, and then I'm seeing core retail sales was 0.1, and then Empire State Manufacturing was 9.1. So that was higher than expected, which is good for currency. And then PPI was zero minus 0.5. So like kind of mixed, right? But like from a bullish perspective, would you I don't know if you'd really want to see a mix, but like right, it's kind of telling right now, right? It really didn't do anything
Yeah.
too crazy. What do you think?
You know, it's interesting. This is an interesting effect because the news should be bearish dollar. The dollar's not breaking significantly. And I think it's because yesterday the selling was so strong that like now it's like here's some good news. Sellers should sell. They're not selling. So it's showing you like there's a little bit of a disconnect. And you can even see on the Nasdaq is not breaking out higher because yesterday, I mean, it ran
Yeah,
like 500 points yesterday
yeah.
from the early session. So like right now it's 16,000 on the Nasdaq. Like I think it's time to have like a little bit of a breather even though the news is bullish for the stocks and
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah, I most definitely agree with you, and
Yeah.
pretty telling. So nothing too nothing too crazy, but looking a little bit more bullish than bearish, at least on the 1 hour, in my opinion, just because of this wick that has printed at the moment, and it looks like it's turning green right now too. So
And
pretty
now the
interesting.
high. The overnight high, like the high of that small tiny bounce,
Mhm.
104.30. Now it's up to the buyers to get past that and hold above that. Pretty much right where that black line is, like
Uh,
35-ish.
okay,
Yeah.
104.30. You said, yeah.
I would say like yeah, I would agree like it'd be more confirmation that it's bullish if it can get above that and hold it to
Yeah,
get like at
okay.
least even a short-term bounce because we can bounce to
hmm
lower highs. Yeah.
That also lines up with that theory too. Yeah, but things slightly retracing right now for sure. Um, for GBP USD, man, I want to see if this 236 level can hold, man. Kind of what we talked about
Mhm.
yesterday. I don't know. We kind of like pre-drew that fib, and like it did it. So like, yeah,
Nice.
coming down
Yeah.
now. Yeah, but I want to see. I'm still in these trades, man. I want to see if they can hold, but not in my favor, most definitely this morning. But either just gonna get stopped out or not, though. I think that's how I'm gonna play it. Gold still not breaking that. I was looking at gold this morning. It's pretty interesting. Like it's this little resistance right here that price is struggling to break. It failed once here, then it wicked yesterday, and then now we're printing this like red candle. So it's like because I'm buying it, but I tried to go in the mind of a seller like this morning. So like I took the fib from this impulse, and it's like you know it's rejecting this 50% level. So if you're a seller, you wouldn't want to see it break above here. So I feel like that's just why it's struggling right now. So yeah,
Yeah.
coming down pretty heavy, but not like too heavy. So for gold, I moved my stop loss to right here to 1958, just because I feel
Nice.
like it could bounce to this 236 level and then potentially go back up. But we're just gonna have to see. But not too exciting today, in my opinion.
Yeah. I think it'll be more
But
interesting like after 9:30. But I'll say the one thing about gold, it's very mixed, right? Like it's a strong enough bounce, but it's still only halfway. So I think it's more likely longer term. I think it's more likely that we're gonna go sideways. And
yeah,
it'll be really strong if they just keep buying it all the way back up. If it V shapes,
yeah,
that'll be crazy
yeah, for
for the
sure.
buyers.
I'm looking at Forex on some GBP news. CPI came out for GBP and it was lower than
Okay.
expected as well. So,
Wow.
you know, probably, why GBP USD is coming down a little bit harder than like, Euro USD and then, maybe AUD USD as well. GBP coming down a little bit harder, but giving like that good break and retest entry in my opinion if this level can hold, but if it can dip if it dips down more, then might go sideways for a little bit before like continuing the next trend. So it'll be interesting to see, man. Are you watching anything? Are you able to share your screen?
Yeah, yeah. I got
Are
like
you
sort of like it's the same setup, but like I have lines better drawn.
mm,
I don't know if you can see it. I have the
yeah, I could see
Okay,
everything.
cool. Yeah, you can probably see all these yellow lines, I think.
Mhm. Yeah.
So yeah, I just always mark up the overnight high, yesterday's high. Yeah, overnight high, overnight low, yesterday's high, yesterday's low. And
Okay.
essentially the job of the buyers, these are all like the major currency pairs against the US dollar. The
Mhm.
number one job of the buyer is to get above the overnight high. And the number one job of the sellers is to break below the overnight low and yesterday's low. So pretty much just watching that closely. I think today I might take a trade when the market opens. If
Okay.
we get breaks below the overnight high, overnight lows,
Yeah.
and I'll pick either side, whichever way it goes. I'll just try
Yeah.
to go with the momentum.
I
Yeah.
see the GBP is coming down a little bit harder
Yeah, up
than
here.
like than
Yeah.
all of the top left. So
And
I
I've been
probably yeah
noticing the rotation. And I think that was probably when the news happened, right? Overnight,
yeah
the
hmm
CPI news.
the CPI numbers not like not super hot for GBP, but not like well right now it's kind of printing like a big impulse candle, but not the biggest one yet, but if that 30-minute could hold and then it printed one lower than that, then maybe it might be time for for it to cool off, a little bit.
Technically for me, like we're still in the overnight session, so I'm gonna watch when it gets to 9:30, whatever low is marked, as long as we're above the like yesterday's low, it'll
Yeah,
be interesting to see once the New York session opens to see how strong. Because from overnight session compared to the New York session, the New York session buyers and sellers are a lot stronger than the overnight ones for like
yeah,
on our perspective overnight. So it's really telling to see like are the market, the New York session buyers and sellers, are they stronger than the overnight buyers and sellers? Um, but one thing I was just gonna say is like I was noticing the rotation, right? So like even on Euro USD right here, you could see we did not make any new highs right here, but on the
yeah,
Canadian dollar, we did make a new high. So you could see it's should not make it yellow, but you could see like the money is rotating against the dollar, and it's like
yeah,
in between. And even the JPY was um was pretty weak when it topped out yesterday. But
mhm,
other currencies like Swiss franc, Canadian dollar kind of stayed strong. Even the British pound went sideways for the rest of the day as Japan was selling off.
yeah,
But
man. Yeah.
yeah,
Pretty telling, and like now, like those same markets that took the flow of the weakness to the DXY, giving some of it back at the moment. So it'll be interesting to see like which one like who is really more dominant.
hmm. Yeah, that
Yeah.
might be like I know all the different currency pairs is like it's kind of confusing even for me to look at, but like I gotta show you like this dollar. It's the exact same chart when I was first talking to you like before, like when we were going sideways. It's just kind of cool to me. I was looking at because I didn't even notice it when it was happening, but like we bounced right here off of that previous like area of like sideways, and
Yeah.
we failed to like get back into that area where most of the volume was. And I'm thinking like we ripped right through, like we bounced initially from this area. We kind of had like a small short-term bounce, but then we
Yeah.
cut straight through it. So
Yeah.
in my opinion, for the DXY, as long as the bounce, if there is a bounce, as long as we remain below this area, the sellers are they have good control. And I'm also looking at this area right here, but because everything overlaps, it really gets confusing. I'm using the volume on the side. So you can see
Yeah.
like these kind of like distributions, these areas where there's like more or less volume. So right now I'm just looking right here, pretty much. There's like a big, we've gotten through this um, high volume area, but now the next one coming up is right here. So, I mean, we'll see how price reacts around that area. That's what I'm looking at.
Man, this DXY chart that you look at, is it a little bit behind or
Yeah, it is 15 minutes delayed. Oh,
15
so
minutes
yes,
delay?
yeah, it might have, it should be
Yeah, okay.
bouncing, I think, right?
Yeah, because I was
Yeah.
like, I was like, I don't see that res also, but
You
okay,
know what I did?
that's pretty.
I put another chart on the capital.com. I'm kind of like recreating it with the other
Mhm.
exchange.
Yeah,
So I'm also using this, and it's like a work in progress, but I'm trying to do like the same thing, but on this chart.
yeah.
But essentially, it's every exchange has different volumes too, but I'm watching this kind of high volume area. But yeah,
Okay, okay. Yeah. Man, I went ahead and took profit on my GBP USD trade. I really went ahead and
nice.
took profit on all trades just because things are looking like they might need to cool off for a little bit. But just gonna be
Yeah,
patient, and I'm gonna wait to re-enter. But
yeah,
pretty good, man. I'm up 4%, so kind of back to where I what took me like a month or two last time, only took about like a week this time, but just gotta work on I'm not messing that up this time. But I agree with you on that DXY analysis. I'm I'm gonna I want to show you something real quick,
yeah,
just
yeah,
to kind of just going back off what you said. I feel like I'm not sure if you can see my screen,
yeah.
but
I can see it now. Yeah,
yeah. So I don't know the Fibonacci when price was over here and we were looking at the 50% retracement, and then it did this
yeah,
I feel like you could still like this Fibonacci still valid, so you don't have to draw from like this impulse to this one. So it's like, if you just
Oh,
extend it
okay, yeah.
down, it's like, that can this if
Oh, it
that
lines
high,
up.
yeah, yeah, so it's like, if is price gonna pull up here and then, is it gonna start to fall from here? And then, if it doesn't, there's still this level kind of. So basically what you said, right? It could pull back up, but as long as it doesn't start to break past those areas up there, I think the sell is still valid. But
Yeah,
I'm not mad at it retracing because, it just gives me a another opportunity to potentially get in. So
yeah.
pretty, yeah. I would have liked to seen the tank though for sure. It would have been cool to just be like, oh snap, I passed. Yeah, but
You held it on
looking at
longer than
things,
I did. Oh my God.
yeah,
That was really
yeah,
good.
I'm looking at things now though, man. They're starting to retrace, so I'm glad I waited. I mean, I just closed them instead of like waiting for my stop loss to get hit. So yeah,
It's like imagine
just
like a
just
it's like a company. Like a company's doing good, it's doing good, they're announcing good news, but eventually they keep announcing good news and like there's like the last piece of news that you're waiting for them to announce and it's good
yeah,
news. And then the market doesn't everybody who's buying and they're waiting for the good news, well now
yeah,
they're taking profit, they're selling. So I think that's similar to what's happening.
yeah. I would agree for sure. Like for something to continue going, it's eventually gotta exhaust.
Yeah.
But to me, this looks like a healthy buying market. Like,
Mm.
it's literally like highs, 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 and then if that can hold, then to me that looks like pretty like market structure, like pretty textbook in my opinion. But it'll be interesting because there's 15 minutes left on this 4 hour candle. It'll be interesting to see if anything like wicks around this area or if price starts to like do a deeper retracement. But I would still like the buys anywhere from to like this 50% retracement. I mean, maybe even the 618, but not really. But if price did dip below here, I wouldn't necessarily be bearish just yet. But if it did, maybe you start to break below that 50%, then I maybe change my view on things. Man, how is your FTMO count doing?
Let me see. Oh, I got stopped out of my Euro trade, so I'm
Okay, you
happy. I
got
don't have
some
to
thought.
think about it anymore.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, I'm
Honestly,
exactly 4.6%. Exactly.
man,
Like that.
I think, I think, I think we might be. Hold on, I wanna sign in real quick.
Oh yeah.
I think we literally might be on the same, like exact, um, same exact place, like literally.
Nice.
Okay, I'm 402.
Okay,
Um,
I'm 436. So almost
yeah,
exact same.
yeah, literally, yeah, I'm 402. So pretty nice, man. Yeah, but this time working on not giving everything back.
Yeah.
Not really like I'm not in a rush to get into another trade as well. Probably just going to be sticking to higher time frames and things like that. But dollar pretty strong today, man. So just gonna see what happens around that 9:30. Like this price just gonna perfectly pull up to this 236 and reject. Yeah, we're just gonna have to see. But man, is there anything else, man? Maybe you wanted to touch on, man?
I could show one quick thing on my
Okay,
screen really
yeah, for
quickly
sure.
on the
Yeah, are
DXY.
you still able to? Yeah, there you go.
Can you see it? Okay.
Yeah, yes, sir, yes, sir.
I just noticed because I kind of touched on it before, and I don't think it's gonna happen again. Like I don't think I can't predict the future. But remember last time, like I was basically saying like those like megaphone patterns, like you could see price kind of doing this, like breaking to new highs and then
Yeah,
falling back below.
yeah,
And I remember
yeah.
I pointed out, and this is not like not I hope it doesn't sound like I'm predicting, but like we saw
No,
the DXY. Remember that?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I remember you saying that like you wanted it to print a higher low on the weekly or the monthly, I believe. Like
Mhm.
you said something like that.
But one thing though, I remember like we kind of remember like in October we broke to a new high, but we
Mhm.
never held above the September high. Like we never held above it.
Yeah.
And this market, like, there's always more and more people entering the market. Like, there's more people in the market than there were 20 years ago, 30 years ago. So the
Mhm.
market knows that everybody has their stop loss right above the high. You know what I mean? Everybody knows that they're trying to get in on the move, but the market wicks them out, it stops them out. So occasionally I notice, like, and I've seen other people notice this too, right? Sometimes the market wicks above your stop loss, and this is the monthly chart, and then it turns around and it creates these kind of like megaphone looking patterns because the market knows people are trying to make money off of it. So it tries to like shake the people who enter in the poorest position, people who are trying to short right at the top. The market's
Yeah.
gonna like kind of wick them out a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just
And
wanted to show that.
it'll start to look like a potentially higher high too.
Yeah.
And that's always like the catch about about that because that's like a Elliott wave pattern as well, like that
Yeah.
like triples like when it's squeezing up. You know, a lot of people would be buying that and then would be like
Mm.
sad when it just completely went like the other way.
Yep. And we've all
So
been there.
yeah,
We're holding on to the trade, hoping that it turns around. But the
yeah,
best thing to do is have a stop loss and take that loss, but it hurts. It does not feel
yeah,
good. I can say that
yeah,
for sure.
yeah. Most definitely, most
Yeah, so that's
definitely.
pretty much it. Yeah, we might
Yeah,
go all the way down. That's completely possible, but I'm not going to predict it. I'm just going to watch and see how it happens.
yeah, for
But,
sure, for sure. I think for me, man, it's pretty much just gonna be waiting for 9:30
yep.
and seeing what happens at 9:30. Yeah, on the DXY, there's still 2 hours left on this 4 hour candle, so a lot can happen in the 4 hours. But you know, yeah, I think that's pretty much it for me, man. Nothing too much has really changed from yesterday, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm definitely going to take it easy too today because I don't want to like give much
Yeah, for
back.
sure.
If I'm going to take any trades, I think they're going to be like 10, $15, $20. I'm going to try to make that
Mhm.
kind of risk
Yeah.
happen.
And it's like if it's like because sometimes trades look sometimes like you have you want price to hit like a certain region or a certain like area before you take a trade, but then
Yep.
sometimes that won't happen, but like
Yep.
what's currently going on will still look enticing, and you take that trade even though it didn't hit the area you wanted it to hit, and then it actually hits the area you wanted to hit. So it's like I'm just going to be patient. If it doesn't hit these areas that I'm looking for, it's like then that's just what it is. Because
Yep. Do
time and
nothing.
time
Yep.
again, yeah, that's how I find like myself messing up. But yeah, I think tomorrow there's unemployment claims, so
Oh,
that should be I don't know how impactful that is, but should give us like like movement volatility at least for the day, some
yeah.
kind of volatility. Yeah, so man, if you're free, man, we could maybe do another one tomorrow, man. Just
Yeah. Yeah. I'm
yeah, man,
down.
keep it
Yeah.
going for sure. All right, man. Yeah, most definitely, man. Always, man. I appreciate you, man, for sure.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Appreciate everybody who's watching these streams as well. So, man, Kailash, I'll see you tomorrow, man.
For sure. Yeah. Yeah. Good talking to you. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Always. Thank you, man.
All right. Peace.